Good morning, y'all. I'm on my way into my office to do a little bit of writing. And I'm looking, and it looks like I have absolutely no battery left whatsoever. And my bag is dropping. So, I was gonna film a video while I was in here, but apparently that's not gonna happen if I don't have any battery. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do. This whole week in Indianapolis, it's supposed to be like 70 degrees outside, which is super cool. But it makes me a little weird about global warming, honestly. I'm like, so does this mean the end of the world? I don't know. Maybe. Or are we gonna have a blizzard in April? That actually has happened before here. We've gotten like a ton of snow. Kind of weird. Oh, hey, what's up? Do you want to be on my vlog and say hi? Uh-huh. Okay. This is my friend Anna. Say hi, Anna. Look how excited she is to be in the vlog. Oh my lord. So I got a bunch of writing done. Turned my outline into chapters. And I am... Let's turn this light on for a second. On my water bottle tripod. And I'm getting ready now to go run errands. I have to return a bunch of library books. And go to the grocery store. Yeah, and that kind of stuff. So, it's been a good day so far. I've gotten a lot done. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm afraid that my battery's gonna run out, but I wanted to address something. I got a comment yesterday that kind of like, I didn't understand it. Somebody said that they had to unsubscribe to this channel because, like, they were like, I see something like, I see now that you're consumed with being YouTube famous and blah, blah, blah. I'm not really sure where that misconception comes from. Like, everything that I do in my life, I do because I love. If I don't love doing it, I don't do it. I'm not at a point in my life where I feel like I need to do things that I don't want to do, if that makes sense. I don't have a problem saying no to things in my life. It took me a really long time to get there. I suggest it to anybody. I mean, I just don't do things I don't want to do. I never really have ulterior motives for something. If there's something that I want, I go for it. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be nice to be able to live off of making YouTube videos and being YouTube famous, whatever that means, but not at the cost of being disingenuous and not being true to myself. I'm not willing to do that. And in fact, I was having this conversation with a really good friend of mine last night before I read this. You know, it would be really easy for me to get on video and make a lot of, or camera and make a lot of videos that weren't true to who I was just to get a lot of views. And I think if you watch my videos over time, you know that that's not what I do. Like, I make videos that I think people will enjoy, that I think will be fun. Like the cheapo box thing that I did yesterday on my main channel. I kind of knew when I did it, it wasn't going to get a lot of views, and I didn't really care because a lot of people have asked for me to do another one of those videos. And so I don't know, I just kind of like, it just kind of confused me a little bit. I was like, do I really come across that way? Because that's not how I want to come across, and that's not really my intention, you know, is for that to be the case. You know, I mean, like, I love to write books. I would write books if I never even made a cent off of it, and I would write books if they never even got published. Now, if I wrote a book and it got published and it was #1 on the New York Times bestseller list, and I was able to just write full time, and people knew who I was because of a book that had moved them or had, you know, affected them in some kind of positive way, isn't that a positive outcome as a result of me doing something that I love? Should I apologize for that? So it was interesting to me because I think that I always kind of give a pretty clear message through all 4 of my channels, which I dedicate a lot of time to because I love doing, to live your passion and live your dream, and whatever positive comes as a result of that, whoever, if you meet people, if you make friendships through that, you know, as a result of that, then that's extra, you know, like that's awesome. Like that's a really cool thing. But the goal should never be, for any passion that you have in your life or any dream, some ulterior outcome, like some ulterior motive. And I don't live my life like that. I really don't. You know, I have a career. That's where I make my money to pay my bills. I'm not hurting. I'm doing okay. But should I be upset if, as a result of me making videos that I love to do, because it comes through in the videos that I do, that like people like me or that I make a little bit of money off? I mean, I'm not gonna, why should I feel bad about that? Like, but that is not my goal, and I want to make that very, very clear. Like, if tomorrow YouTube stopped paying me, and if tomorrow no one ever said I never got another comment, I would continue to make videos. And I think that my BookTube channel is a pretty good example of that. Like, I've been doing BookTube for a long time. I love BookTube, but it's not like a get famous kind of deal. Like, you're never gonna probably get famous off of BookTube. Even like the biggest booktubers out there, like Jessie the Reader and Christine at Poland and Banana Books, like on the street, like out of the book world, people don't know who they are, but like in the BookTube community, they're like huge. They're like celebrities, right? So I think it's interesting that somebody felt the need to unsubscribe to me because of that. Like, instead of maybe reaching out to me and saying, wow, Peter, it like really bothered me that, you know, whatever. And in response to this YouTuber that I was talking about in my video the other day, what hurt me the most about that is, and I'm gonna actually make a video about like friends that like you lose over time. What hurt me the most about that was that that person never came to me and said, this is why I need to distance myself from you. This is what happened. This is what occurred to allow me to continue to grow as a person. So that maybe in the future that wouldn't happen with another friend, or if I had made a mistake to maybe correct it. And I feel like a lot of people in life, and this is not an age thing, it can happen at any age, just write people off real quickly without giving them the opportunity to change. And so I wasn't dogging that person. I mean, I totally understand, you know, they're needing to not be in my life anymore, and I respect that. There have been people in my life that I've had to say goodbye to and I couldn't have in my life anymore. But I also gave them the opportunity. I said, like, look, like, you know, you're very, very negative on a regular basis, and I can't have that around me because I become very, very negative. And, you know, then, like, sometimes they change, or they would say, you know, like, hey, can you please give me some suggestions? Or other times they would just continue to be complainers every time I talk to them. And I am a complainer. I know that. And that may have been the situation with this person. I may have complained too much and they thought, I've had it. I don't really want any more of that, you know? I don't know. I don't know. I was never given the opportunity to understand why that friendship needed to be over. If it is over, I don't even know if it's over, you know? I asked them, they said, no, it's not what you're reading into things that aren't there, but the friendship has changed a lot. So, and I think people misunderstand who I was talking about. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. You know, at the core of all of it, I believe that people are really truly good at heart. And so I got very heated that night because it was a lot coming at me at once. But you know, in retrospect, over the last 24 hours, like, I believe people are good. I believe they have good motives. I believe people have good intentions, genuinely. So, most people, I think there are some people out there that will use you and spit you out, but I think most people, and I think specifically this person, has good intentions. So if they do need to distance themselves from me, there's a good reason for it. I just don't know what that reason is. So, but I just wanted to clear those things up. I mean, me doing this daily vlog has been a lot of fun, but like, you know, when you're making videos, you want people to watch them. You know, if you're dedicating a lot of time and energy and you're putting things together and you're going to the dollar store and you're specifically picking things out for cheap, you want people to watch it. You know, you want people to get a laugh off of it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, you know? And it would be discouraging if you were trying to, like, build people to watch that, or like, you know, if like the time when I spent, like all the time I spent writing my book, if not one person read it, that would be kind of discouraging, don't you think? That doesn't mean that I want to get rich off of it or that I want to be famous off of it. That just means I want people to enjoy what I'm putting out there into the world. So I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions about that, you know, please let me know. Leave it in the comment section. I do read all your comments, or email me or anything like that. But I think that one thing we don't ever do in life is that we don't give, and people call it confrontation, I call it being honest. You know, like, I don't think we give people an opportunity to change or to, like, insight and have aha moments, you know, and say, oh, now I see why I see why you thought that, you know, like it makes sense to me now looking at it that way. I didn't see it that way before. So if there's something that I'm not seeing that's coming across in my videos, I hope people, you know, but by and large, like 95% of the comments that I get are positive. So I tend to go off of those that like what I'm doing seems right, you know, and I think we're all just trying to, you know, do the best that we can do in life and get by, don't you? I mean, I am, so love you guys. This will probably die because I'm like so out of battery. But I just got done eating at Bob Evans, which has become slowly my place. I said I kind of want to make it my office. I was going to go return my library books. I was going to return Bone Gap, Cherry, and Jess, Chunk, and the Road Trip to Infinity. But I only have 3 books out, and so I just renewed them. My husband is texting me. Anyway, let me tell you, I have had my eyes on this t-shirt at Bob Evans for I can't even tell you how long. Like, they've had them out for like 2 weeks. And I've wanted one so bad, and I thought, oh my god, this would be so perfect for my videos. But I just want one anyway. Let me show you. Oh my god, it's a little big, but it says, I love you like biscuits and gravy. How perfect is that for me? I love you like biscuits and gravy. Is that not hilarious? I love it so much. It is really big though. Anyway. So you can pick that up at your local Bob Evans for $9.99. I mean, while you're there, pick me up an extra large because I got a 2XL and it's really big. I thought I'll be safe with a 2XL, but it looks really large. So anyway, but that is my day, and now I'm plugging in my phone to listen to my audiobook. And everybody gets mad now when I don't say what book I'm listening to. So I'm listening to Sean David Hutchinson's At the End of the Universe. It's brand new. It just came out. I read his book, We Are the Ants, last year, and I fell totally in love with it. It's one of the best books I've ever read in my entire life. And At the Edge of the Universe is just as good as well. And it's about, they're both about gay teenagers, but they're like, but as adults, they're just so endearing and they're so creatively written. I love them so much. I just love reading. I love reading so much. And you guys always know I'm always reading like one physical book and one audiobook, so. And I'm finishing up my physical book tonight and starting another one. So I'm like, oh, which one should I read? And I really think I'm going to read Jess, Chunk, and the Road Trip to Infinity. Because I heard it's like really good. And it has a trans character in it. And in 2017, I'm really trying to support trans literature. But I don't think it's not written by, it's not written by a trans author. I'm trying to read diverse books that are written by diverse authors. Does that make sense what I'm saying at all? Like, I think it's great to read books by anybody that are diverse, but like if the author is diverse as well. So like if you're reading like one of the issues that a lot of people had with the book, Me Before You, did you guys see that movie or read that book? Was that they didn't feel like it was fair or authentic. Hey you guys, so it is 1:45 and Alex just went to bed. We were just laying in bed talking and stuff, and then I was reading and I have like 30 pages left of If I Was Your Girl, and I was like, I'm gonna go get something to eat at IHOP, and he was like, that's kind of loserish. I said, I am not a loser. I'm gonna go to IHOP and I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna get some hash browns and I'm gonna read the rest of my book with a root. I was gonna get coffee, but I want a root beer. I've had like so much coffee today. But I wanted to say this. I was just like trying to remember where I left off. And I was talking about the book, Me Before You. And so many people love that book. And I actually really loved the book too. And the movie was actually very well done, I thought, as an adaptation of a book. I can't remember why I can't think of what the woman's name is that wrote the book. But there's like 2 sequels to it or something. But anyway, it's about a quadriplegic. I think that's what he is. I might be wrong. But anyway, I guess a lot of people with developmental disabilities did not like, with physical disabilities, I hope I'm using the correct verbiage, that's appropriate. If I'm not, correct me below, please, and I apologize. But a lot of people did not like how he was portrayed in the book. And I thought that was interesting. And so what I was talking about earlier was I really believe in reading diverse books by diverse authors that can speak the truth in their own voice through a character. That makes sense. And I think that that's important. You know, I think it's important for, I mean, I'll read anything. So, but like this book, If I Was Your Girl, is about a trans teenager, a post-operative trans teenager, and which is really interesting, I mean, in its own light. And, I was going to open it to the book, but I have a green light. There's a, and it's written by an author that's trans. And there's one part in there that's really interesting where she's having a conversation with somebody, and the other person says, are there things, and you should read this book, it's that phenomenal. It's this wonderful YA book, but it's just a wonderful book in general. But she says, are there things, like the other girl says, are there things that I should know? And she says, yes. And she's like, you don't ever ask me what my name was before. You should never ask me about what the physical parts I have. She lists like 5 things that you don't ask a trans person. And I thought it was really, really interesting. And then she also goes in later and she talks about, like, once, you know, she was post-operative, like things that she had to do, and it's just very educational. And not that somebody couldn't look up that stuff or research it through a physician or those kinds of things, but I think until you've lived it, it's hard to speak the truth to some degree. Like, in my book, it was really interesting because my parents were so open to my being gay, and my coming out experience was really a non-coming out experience, but I had one because one of the hardest things for me was the fact that I had been bullied and made fun of all my life, and then having to accept that truth for myself, that I was what everybody had made fun of for so many years, was really a hard truth for me to accept, I think, to some degree. And, you know, my mom bought the movies and my dad bought the books, and, you know, I remember, like, Beautiful Things, that English movie came out, and I loved that movie, but, like, I was kind of like, it was overkill. Like, why are you trying to be the cool parent, kind of? And, I actually put this in my book because, like, my mom had bought, like, my mom or my dad, I can't remember, but, like, several of these, like, Maurice was another, like, a book, a gay book that, like, was written, like, I don't know, long time ago. But anyway, I sound so ignorant, I can't remember who Maurice is by, but, like, or Tales of the City by Armistead Maupin and things like that. And I remember I was saying to a friend one night, I was, like, joking, like, pointing to the books, like, oh, my parents are so cool, they're trying to be so cool by buying these books. And my friend looked at me and he said, do you know how lucky you are? Like, my parents told me get the hell out when I came out, you know? And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And that had not been my experience. So, like, I didn't know, like, I had never heard of somebody's experience that way before. And then, oh my God, it was like, you know, watershed. Like, I met so many people whose experiences coming out, their family just disowned them. And now today I realize how blessed I am, you know, that, like, my coming out experience was so pleasant. And it was so just warm and loving and comforting. And I'm so grateful for that. And, but that doesn't mean that, you know, my coming out experience was easy. My own self-identification was difficult, but 10 times easier than the majority of the people out there, I think, you know. And I think just because today, you know, like, there's so many gay characters on television and in movies, and, you know, Lady Gaga loves all the gay people and everything like that, and it's RuPaul's Drag Race, that it's just like, I think everybody is under this assumption that it's so easy to come out today. I don't know that I think that that's necessarily true, you know. I mean, I think that there are, like, a lot of people, that teenagers, adults that come out today, I think it's really especially hard for adults today that have been married and have kids. Like, I can't even imagine. And I get a lot of emails from people that are like, thank you for putting your story out there, and, you know, for being an older gay man and, you know, being on camera. And I just came out last year and I'm 52 or something. Like, that's so cool to me that they finally, you know, but like, I can't imagine in the same light how difficult that would be. But anyway, I put that scene in my book, and I talked about my cool parents that really were cool for, you know, being so enlightened that they were willing to try to be supportive of me any way they possibly could, if that makes sense. So I feel like something weird is going on here at the IHOP. There's like these cones out in front, but anyway. So yeah, and then, so like, I think it's important in literature and art to portray our truth, which is weird because like on YouTube, what I'm trying to do like in my vlog is just daily, like, and I guess you could look at this as an art form, like, I mean, it's living media, right? So I think to some degree, it's me just putting my truth out there, you know, like I'm not painting it, I'm not writing it in prose, I'm just telling it, you know, so it's like living truth to some degree, if that makes sense. I don't know if it's interesting to anybody or if anybody relates to it, but like, there's so many, I think, like with the coming out thing too, like, okay, so Zach Garcia from The Adventures of Zach and B, like, we had a conversation, and I adore him. I think he's just such a role model in the gay community and such a neat gay guy. And if you don't know his channel, it's called The Adventures of Zach and B, and he's like real southern accent gay kid, and he's engaged to this guy named, like, I never remember his fiance's name, Alistair, and anyway, they're a really neat couple, but like, he is really, like, he told me, he's like, I watched so many coming out videos and they really helped my process, right? But like, there's so many people, like, I think still come out today and like, they're hyper religious or hyper conservative family members do not accept them for who they are, and I can't imagine how difficult that would be, you know? So I think it has to still be tough for some people, and I'm just so blessed that my experience was different, you know? And yeah, so there's like nobody at this IHOP. It's kind of spooky strange. Like, I'm like the only one here, and I'm gonna go in and take my book in and read. I guess it is kind of loserish a little bit, isn't it? I love reading so much. I love just like getting into a book and just like, I wish I could tell, like, I wish right now, like, I could talk to somebody that had read this book, because there's so many things I want to say about what's going on right now in this book. I'm like, and that, and this, and this, and this. Do you guys read? Are you like that? These two dudes out here are like rather masculine to be like hugging the way that they're hugging in the parking lot. Like, they are really getting it on with a hug. And they're kind of lingering by the car. I mean, I wonder if this is like a date. One of them drives this huge pickup truck and the other one drives this other car, and they're like really hugging. They're like still hugging. Maybe one of them just came out. More power to you, baby. Pride. Okay, so I am officially that guy, okay, or that girl. I just sat in with hash browns and a root beer and finished If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Rousseau. And the last paragraph, I sat there and I just like bawled my eyes out in the IHOP. It was so beautifully written. It was so good. Oh, by the way, I've read 10 books in 2017 so far. So I'm doing okay of my goal of 100. I want to read 100 books this year, and I've read 10 so far. So I'm a little bit behind, but I've got an audiobook that I'm listening to, and I'm reading Helter Skelter all over, it's cold, for the year of 2017. So I usually pick like a really long book. I've been reading Helter Skelter forever. I hope I don't have to go back in and read some that I haven't read. Okay, that couple that I was telling you about, it's really interesting. That couple, those two guys that were hugging in the parking lot. Well, I got out, and I was like, when I was walking in, the one tall guy was like, there was like one kind of like thick guy and then one tall skinny guy, and the tall skinny guy was like, girl, it's cold out here. So they like got in the car. Now they're like still sitting in the pickup truck, and there's like this police officer, and he's like driving through the parking lot, like looking at cars. Do you see this? Well, I can't really show you right now, but you'll see it as he goes behind me. Watch. Do you see this? Here, I'll just show you. It'd be like we're on Cops for a second. Do you see? And he's like, what's going on over there? What's going on? That's the pickup truck and the car, and then the police officer. So it's like so exciting. But those two guys have been legit in that pickup truck for like an hour. And it kind of looks like the guy is just sitting in the passenger side. And like, what if I caught somebody having like an affair on the DL? I just got it on camera. And then it's like that movie Blow Up, and then they blow it up, and actually there's like a murder that happens. Oh my God, Murder at the IHOP. And then I write a book about it, and I call it Murder of the IHOP, and it's just like really, really becomes like the world's bestseller. And then, yeah. And then what else could happen? And then like I would move to Hollywood, and then like I would be like walking down like Hollywood Boulevard, and I would look like real hot but kind of skanky, and this guy in like a Lamborghini would pick me up, and then we would like go stay at this really expensive hotel in downtown Beverly Hills, and then he would want to put me up in a condo, and I would say, oh no, I want the fair. Oh, that's Pretty Woman. Oh yeah. Okay, here comes another car. I wonder what this car is gonna do. I wonder if this car's on the DL too, and they're gonna have a three-way in the pickup truck. Y'all wanted raw, okay? They're gonna have a three-way in the pickup truck. Oh no, this is another lone wolf. What if the IHOP was like the gay pickup center? I want to show you what is going on right now. He is like, look, they're all backing in along line each other. Do you see this? Like, is there something low shade going on at the fucking IHOP that I am not aware of? Like, true story. Like, they are, like, legit parked 1, 2, 3 right in a row. Now this sick guy is getting out of his car. He's pulling his sweater down. And he's walking back in the IHOP. He's, like, all adjusting his clothes. Oh, my Lord. What if this is, like, his girlfriend? She's like, it's like Cheaters. And I'm like, oh, my God, what if this was, like, Cheaters? Oh my God, what if I'm the new Cheaters? This is so much fun. I mean, now I have to keep on filming. I have to see what happens. Okay, now this dude's getting out of his car. These people have not given their consent to be on video, so you can't really see. They're kind of far away. But do you see? Like, that was just proof that I'm not making this shit up. So, but like, what if it really was like his girlfriend? He got out of the car, and then she was like, I said da-da-da-da-da. That guy in the pickup truck is like, for real, still sitting in this pickup truck. Did the guy just go in to the bathroom? And he's gonna come back out and sit in the pickup truck? What's really weird is like, I don't see the guy sitting in the driver's seat of the pickup truck. And he was in the passenger seat. But the car's still running. I'm gonna drive by. I'm gonna see what's going on. I gotta know now. I got my to-go root beer. True story, no matter where you go, if you ask them for a to-go drink, they'll give you one. Little, it's like, Tanya and I forever would go places and eat, and then we get, like, as soon as we leave, she'd be like, I want a fountain Coke, and I'm like, me too, and then we'd leave. And then, I'm like, I was with somebody sometime, and they were like, well, just get a to-go cup. Where is going on here? I am all up in this car. Look at this. Oh, he is all leaning back. They were getting it all up in there. Oh my God. Those two dudes were getting it on in the pickup truck. That's kind of fun. You know, I just tell you right here. Let me just show you, okay? There's a Hilton Garden Inn, and there's a Holiday Inn Express, and there's a Bay something over there, and there's an American Inn right there. They could have all just gone right over there and gotten their rooms for the night. I'm gonna go over here and see. I've never gone back here before, but this American Inn, it looks like it has a inside swimming pool. That sounded so. American Inn. Does it have an indoor swimming pool? Oh, that's a bar. I didn't even know these hotels were back here. I didn't even know there was like a little bar restaurant here. What bar restaurant is this? Hell, I didn't know all this stuff was back here. This must be where all the cheaters come and stay. Bubba's. I've never heard of Bubba's, have you? Bubba's Pizza, Burgers, and Beer. Oh. Must be pretty happening over here. Tri-County Hotels. What is this hotel? This hotel is called the Wellington. It looks nice. I mean, for back here, it looks nice. I mean, legit, like, this is just like one hotel after another. Do you guys have these business areas, like, in your area? Like, this is kind of like... I told Alex, I said, this is why I'm always he's always, like, wondering where I'm at so late at night. This is what happens. Like... I just get intrigued by things, okay? Look, I'm legit. Do you guys see this? Like, I am, like, all up. Look at this. Banquet and catering. Oh, it's a banquet and catering center. But, like, look. I'm, like, all, like, driving through here. Like, let's just act like I'm gonna go stay at this Hilton Garden Inn. When I was a little kid, I used to always, like, want to play adventure. Can you come valet park my car, please? Thank you. Okay. So, like, I would always want to go play adventure when I was a little kid. And I would be like adventure, like, did you ever see the movie Into the Night with Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Pfeiffer? It's like one of my favorite movies in the entire world. So, like, what if, true story, like, some chick could not sleep, just, like, what if I couldn't sleep, right? So I came out here and I drove around through these hotels, and some chick comes running out, she's being chased by all these guys. Did you ever see Into the Night? That's kind of what it's about, but it takes place at the airport, not the hotels. But, like, what if somebody did, and then I had to, like, drive her to Florida or something? We were like, that'd be a good book, actually. We were, like, in this mystery that was happening. Chase, adventure. I always wanted those kind of adventures when I was growing up. To be in the middle of all of that kind of adventure. What that means is your life is boring and you want to escape, and oh, guess what? I became a drug addict. Now I'm back in here in the office areas, and I don't know how to get out of here. So I still, to this day, have, like, the world's, like, biggest imagination. It's, like, crazy. So anyway, that's my life. That was not so insightful tonight, boys and girls, as my deeply motivating, inspiring. But I do believe that you have to escape. Oh, I know where I'm at now. And come up with adventures of the mind. So, like, if you could have any adventure to you, what would happen? My adventure would be, I would be, like, driving through here, and there'd be, like, this woman, and she'd be like, her husband was, like, murdered, and her kids are in Florida at the grandparents' house, and they were staying at this trip, and then her husband was murdered because he had some secret document that's worth, like, $100 million, and all these governments want it. So then she comes running out, and she's like, ah! And then she gets into my car, and then I'm like, oh my God, what do you need? And she's like, call me Sally. And I'm like, Sally, call me Peter. And then I'm like, Sally, what do you need? She's like, go, they're chasing me. And then all these cars are chasing me, and then we lose them. And then we, like, go and we eat at, like, I don't know, like a Bob Evans. And then we're sitting there at Bob Evans, and it's like the next morning. We've been driving for like 10 hours, right? And she's like, let me tell you the story. And she tells me the whole story, and her husband was part of all these, like, secret document world kind of things, and then it's worth like $200 billion or something, like, right? And then, so then we have to, like, drive all over the place. We have to go to Florida to get our kids, and so then we're trying to get a hold of the grandparents. There's a hurricane in Florida, and we're trying to tell the grandparents that they have to, like, leave and get away from the house, but the phones aren't working, and no cellular phone use is going on because of this hurricane. So we have to, like, drive down there through this hurricane to get her kids, because these people are going to go and get her kids and kill her parents, right? Because then they'll have then they can have somebody to hostage them for the documents. So we have to drive down there. We're driving down there, and all this crazy stuff happens on the down there. Kind of like Forces of Nature by Sandra Bullock and Ben Affleck, but not really. Okay. And then we get to Florida, and then we get our kids, but like something crazy is going on, and then our parents are like, they're dead already. So, like, they were poisoned. Okay, so anyway, and then we get the kids, and she's like, go, go. And then I'm like, oh, by the way, I have this friend, and he owns a charter boat in Miami. So we go there, and we get on him, and then he takes us to the Caribbean, and we think we're safe, but we're not safe. And then these people are chasing us, and we have to do some secret drop out in the middle of the ocean with all of these people, and they're all bidding on it. And they go, we'll just give you $50 million in cash. And we go, okay. And then we take the $50 million in cash, and we ride off in the sunset. I don't know why, because Sally is a married woman with 2 kids, and I'm gay. Maybe I fall in love with the guy that drives the charter plane, and then, yeah. Ta-da! That's how you write a book. I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. I wanted something a little bit more lighthearted tonight, so there you go. Follow me on all my social media. It's linked below. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.